So I've just come into Harrold Odell Country Park and I'm with Ed Green.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Yeah, hi. And so you are the ranger here?
Yes, my job title's Country Park Officer, but
Yeah.
yes, everybody calls me the Ranger.
The Lone Ranger?
Yeah. Well, there's a pair of us, so
Oh, okay.
Tonto might be around somewhere.
Yeah. And so this park, if this is part of the Euse Valley Way, people walking along here, you'd go through from Harrold to Odell all the way through the park. And it's a massive lake and a little beach with some ducks on it. So what is this place and how's it come about?
So Harrold Odell Country Park is owned and managed by Bedford Borough Council. It came about in 1979 when the Bedfordshire County Council at the time bought the land, which was ex-gravel extraction. Prior to that, the archaeological digs have found Romano British homesteads here. So back to earlier than the 3rd century, and they will have had little farmsteads, little round houses surrounded by a ditch and wells. Guessing it would be a really good location for crossing the river because it's a low point, so they would have been able to cross here and obviously navigate along the river. From that, it's been farmland for a long time prior to gravel extraction.
So we've seen that common theme from Milton Keynes on, that we see these big lakes by the river, originally farmland, gravel extracted, and in this case, as with some of the others, we've seen a park. You know, the water's filled in, and we're seeing this really quite beautiful park in its place.
Yes, this is my outdoor office.
Yeah.
It is beautiful. It's been described as the jewel in the crown of North Bedfordshire.
And so just the day-to-day management of this place, how does that work?
Right, so we have a lot of practical help from the Friends of Harrold Odell Country Park.
Yeah.
They're a very active friends group. We have people coming out 4 days a week helping us with the general management, be that cutting the grass, cutting back bramble. We have lots of memorial benches, so they sand them down. In a year like we've had this year where it's been very hot and no rainfall, we've been watering memorial trees, but we do hedge laying, manage the various habitats, so some of the wildflower areas cut the grass once a year. Wildflowers like soils with more nutrient levels, so you cut and rake off the grass once a year. That helps flowers that like those conditions thrive.
So that active management means you can have greater biodiversity, more interesting things to see, but also just better for nature in general.
Yes, absolutely, and we'll also maintain the access around here. So when you get lots of sun and sunshine, you get brambles that grow 6 foot in a week. So we do a lot of that as well. The Friends group sell grain here for the ducks.
And that's actually being used right now. So we're seeing a little kid with a mum, and they've just been feeding the ducks, who look quite happy.
Yes, the ducks are very well fed, especially during holiday times, when we wonder sometimes how the ducks manage to float.
And so you've got your own native set of mallards here, but that's not all. They're not the only ducks you get here.
No. In the winter, well, we're talking to you in September. So at the moment we have quite a few shovelers around. That seems to be the time when they migrate and arrive here. Later on in the year, we have 5 or 6 goldeneye. Widgeon have just arrived. Their numbers are starting to build up, and obviously we have the normal cormorants and other wildfowl, coots and mallards.
And something you mentioned earlier was that you're right by the river, and there is some ongoing management needed.
Yes, absolutely. This is a floodplain, and the capacity for the country park to take billions of litres of flood water obviously makes a difference to the local residents. So we manage the ditches and the water network to remove obstacles, particularly on the main lake. There's a culvert where the water flows out and goes out towards the river. When the wind's in the right direction, that fills with pondweed. So we remove that, so when the water level's high enough, the water can flow out, and that keeps the capacity at its maximum all the time for taking floodwaters, because we've been flooded many times to the point where you would have needed chest waders to walk around the main lake. So the main lake all the way to the river would have been one water body several times.
So just thinking about what was here before, this would have been farmland, then all the gravel extracted, filled with water, but now it's also part of a flood management process. So if we think about all those places that flood downstream from here, Bedford and so on, then actually it's helpful having this here to be able to take in excess water.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't begin to calculate how many billions of litres of water that come through here in a flood. So it's extremely important for trying to keep the water away from the local residents.
So the council provides some basic financing to make sure the park is fundamentally viable, but then the Friends Group top up and they run a car park on an honesty box basis.
Yes, so to park here it's donations, so if you're willing to pay that donation it's just £1, and the Friends take money from grain sales, and we sell wood locally as well, so they take that money and they plough that back into the park. So they pay for many different things. They've helped with interpretation boards. This year we've had otter sculpture installed in the lake by the duck food area.
Ah, yes. So we've got an information board that says Raft of Otters and a very attractive looking sculpture.
Yes, so Rachel Long is the artist. She won a competitive commissioning process,
Right.
and it's something you can view from different angles. But she's got sculptures across the UK. The most famous one, I think, is at Wells Next to the Sea, Norfolk, where there's a horse in the tidal water. So you get to see, depending on the tide, different parts of it, all of it. I believe it can move. So the Friends have commissioned this Raft of Otters. It's made out of recycled metal, and it depicts different forms the otter can take when they're playing in the water.
Yeah. So the kids can't jump all over the sculpture because it's in the water, but there are other things that kids can jump all over. So you've got a troll bridge, for example.
Yes, there's a troll bridge along by our nature reserve. We like to think that we feed the trolls when the kids are at school, but we don't have to feed them in the holidays when the kids are here. So that's just one of the fun things we have around. There's play areas, one by the cafe, one at the Odell end of the park. With a football pitch over there. Again, near the cafe, there's gym equipment, there's a skate park. There's plenty of areas for kids to run around.
And adults, just seen several joggers come through. We're standing right by some blackthorn, so we've got some sloes, look ripe for picking.
Yes, it's been a very good fruit year. So we have fruit trees. We actually have an orchard, it's a community orchard, not attached to the park, but it's in the village of Odell. And this year's been an absolutely fantastic year for fruit. We try to leave the fruits for wildlife, but obviously, people are free to come and pick some themselves.
So if you're walking through at this time of year, maybe you'll be allowed to pick an apple or two?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Definitely.
Fantastic. Okay, so what's coming up in the coming months? What will you be up to?
So in the coming months, we're doing all the management that we can't do during the nesting season. So we're going to be coppicing trees, cutting back hedges. This time of year, the wildflower areas which need cutting and raking off once a year, now's the time to be doing that. We've recently just cleared out the dragonfly pond, which is in the nature reserve. We've taken some of the invasive water soldier out of there, which needs managing each year, but you don't want to be doing that when the water levels are high. This is the perfect time of year for pond management. So that's kind of day-to-day thing we're doing at the moment.
All being helped up by the Friends.
Yes, absolutely. They do. They really do so much. One of our talented volunteers has designed some activity booklets for kids to use. One's called I Spot, another one's just activities you can do. So there's some brass rubbings, you can do a colouring in, there's a maze, that kind of thing. And the third booklet is a crossword booklet. And the I Spot one, so many parents have told us, thank you for doing this, because it motivates my kids to get round the lake, which they can never do without ice cream at the end.
So if you're walking through, you've come from Turvey through Carlton to here, so you can stop and have a cup of tea or a bacon sarnie, that kind of thing?
Yes, absolutely. This is a perfect spot on your way, or to start or to finish your walk, because the cafe's here, toilet facilities. It's just such a lovely spot.
Do it at this end rather than at the Odell end. There isn't so much there then.
No, there are pubs around, local pubs around. So in the main car park at Harrold, there's a map on there with local pubs on it.
Right, so it would be good to actually just have a little look at that before walking through the park on your way towards Bedford. All right, well, that's fantastic. Thank you very much.
No worries.